It's no Miami weather, I'll tell you that much. It is freaking cold here, back in Wisconsin, but also that means I'm back in the office. So we're going to do the question of the day. I hope you'll participate, and I've got to keep it relatively short because I've got a call in 8 minutes with somebody. Today's question is, how do you deal with somebody in a position of power who wants you to fail? Ooh. How do you deal with somebody in a position of power who wants you to fail? Well, either they want you to fail, or a perceived lack of support, maybe, is a little softer way of doing that. So none of us are a victim, first of all. We're a product of our decisions, product of our actions. We are not a product of our circumstances. However, I can absolutely answer this because I often use this as a chip on the shoulder. I think maybe many of you can relate. I think a lot of it's my former athletic background and competitive nature, is how do I deal with somebody in a position of power who wants you to fail? I think back to, with all due respect, I won't name names, a former company, frankly, where the locker room originated. If many of you know that origin story, there was a couple people in high positions of power. And I had to later learn that I'm going to go where I'm not just tolerated, I'm going to go journey on my own where I'm celebrated. I'm done being tolerated and I want to be celebrated again. And it's okay, that a certain vision, a certain world can no longer allow mine to fit inside of it. Perfectly fine. And so I think back to moments early in the locker room that we had to thread this political needle to even pull off what we were seeking to achieve here. And a lot of that was because this company had its own internal coaching program. And so I knew that the perception could be that I was competing against them. In reality, I wasn't, because I wasn't providing one-on-one. I was providing support and more group stuff than anything for a demographic of coaches inside of this company. And so we had created a platform. We created something that nobody else had. It never existed and didn't see that anybody was going to in the foreseeable future. So we did what we thought, and we just started taking action. But I knew it was coming. And so fast forward, I started to get calls. I started to get emails. I got flown down to the principal's office a time or two, and having to always constantly defend what it was I was thinking and who do I think I am, leveraging this company owner's database to create my own business with inside of it that competes against theirs, and a lot of accusations. And we were always taught to live in abundance, not scarcity, and seek first to understand, and all these principles. And yet, when it was the other side's turn, my view was they were coming at it very much from scarcity, a lot of assumptions, and never truly seeking to understand. And so what that meant was there was a lot of, rumors and drama and things that were said on company calls that got back to me. Just a lot of noise. And it was hard. It was very hard, very stressful on me, very stressful on my family. And I went to a Tony Robbins event, UPW event, and there was one portion of that event that I wrote down in response to a question Tony had asked, something that liberated me. That right there was worth the 3 days, the $600 ticket, and so on and so forth. And it was something to the effect of, leading with your heart got you where you are today, so continue leading with your heart and everything else will be okay. That's real close to what I had written down to myself in this workbook. And hearing that and come out of me, and I know it might be simple to you, but those were the words I needed to hear at that moment to say, you know what, Jake? Keep going. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep the mission, and whatever noise and obstacles come your way, it's just part of the process to get to the impact that you want to ultimately have. And that's what I did. I think it's, how do you deal with somebody in a position who wants you to fail? I use that energy, that negative energy, as fuel. I've always been this way. The naysayers, the skeptics, I love it. My family will tell you I'm sick and twisted in that way, that I almost need this dichotomy or this enemy or this something that I'm rallying against, because that fuels me, man. It's just one more chip on the shoulder. That's how I personally deal with it. But absolutely taking the high road. I never added to the noise. I stood my ground firmly. However, I always spoke and I think conducted myself in a calm, professional, diplomatic manner, except for one time maybe when I did lose it on the 4th of July when one individual at this company calls me on the 4th of July as I'm at a parade with my family trying to enjoy the break, and all sorts of accusations, and I finally just lost it. And I did raise my voice, and I might have dropped a curse word or two. But that aside, I just, I use it as fuel. That's the biggest thing. That's how I deal with it, is say, you know what, just because they gave up on their dreams doesn't give them permission to try and talk me out of mine. Just because their world is no longer big enough or their vision is no longer big enough for mine to coexist inside of it doesn't mean that I can't still accomplish what I want to accomplish. So all that stuff is just layer upon layer upon layer of motivation. This is how I choose to receive it, not make me second guess or shrink who I am, what I want to do as a result of their insecurities. So there it is. There's some vague things there, but I don't want to rehash the past. I am so far beyond that, and now I can actually look back and say, there was many gifts inside of that I'm actually grateful for. It's helped shape who I am, my leadership style, us as a company, and the way we go about things. So I think in hindsight, there's always a gift. It's just our job to figure out what is that gift and are we ready to receive it? Because whatever you're going through right now, always ask yourself, how is this, whatever this is, going to make me better and serve others in the future? All right, guys, I got to get on this call. I got 30 seconds to spare. Have a great day.